Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Hey everyone, welcome. It is so great to be connecting with all of you. Thank you guys. I'm Dr. Pat. I'm the host of the Dr. Pat Show. I'm here with my co-host Lynn Brown. She is the host of Get Into It, Winning at the Game of Life. And that is exactly what we're going to be talking about today. You know, I don't know if you've noticed this, but this week we have really been honing in on conversations about money and energy and money energy. And there's no mistake for this. You know, if you look at spiritual traditions, you know, we're talking about a year of Jubilee. We're talking about so many things that may seem like they're in such an accelerated and expansive format because they are. It's really that simple. Lynn Brown is joining me here today to talk about just that and to how things are accelerating for her to reveal what is being shown to her. And, you know, each and every one of us, I believe that we think we have a choice about how we show up in life, what our purpose is going to be. I'll tell you what, I'm like looking at this part of my life right now and I'm saying, you know, yeah, I had some conscious choice about whether I was going to say yes to what Spirit put in front of me. But there is a consequence for not saying yes. Lynn is not going to experience that because she is living in her big yes right now. So whether you know Lynn about helping them, working with her to get your soul all fired up, whether it's intuitive work, energy healing work, whether it's financial work, whatever that is, the conversation is one of abundance through energy. It is one of stepping into the full nature of who we are and saying, hello, I have arrived. I am. It is the I am victorious. I am talented. I am creative. I am wise. I am healthy. I am energetic. I am happy. I am positive, and I am abundantly provided for. Today's show for all of you out there, this is about stepping into the I am, because what's getting revealed today and over the next, if you're ready for it, the next 4 days of counting down, it is epic. The internal and external transition to our new consciousness. Yes, it's a new narrative in the world of abundance. And Lynn Brown has been selected to get out there with the giant conscious bullhorn and say, this is it, folks. The bus has stopped. We got to get on board. Today, Lynn is going to talk about, you know, what is it about shifting from our current limited state, I love that word limited, to a higher vibration and level of consciousness, a more spiritually evolved state, free from many of the individual and collective problems of our present existence. Yeah, what is the number one? Scarcity thinking, limit. What is it about us that is so afraid? We're so afraid of even looking within ourselves, violence, struggle, strife. We can step that aside and step into thriving. That's why the Dr. Pat Show, talk radio to thrive by. We're growing into a more enlightened state of being, characterized by unity, peace, cooperation, compassion, harmony, freedom from our current limitations, and guess what we like to say? Stepping into living an epic life. But wait, there's something to understand about this, and Lynn Brown is here to deliver it. Lynn, it's so good. We've all been waiting for today.
I've been waiting for today, and I'm happy to be here. And, you know, this is just another on-ramp, so to speak, to this amazing event, you know, that we're kind of leading up to. Not even an event, but a movement, right? The movement of stepping into abundance for all, internal, external, physical, energetically. It's all about abundance, baby.
It's all about the abundance, baby.
Yeah.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
And if you say it's all about the abundance, that means there is zero. We're at a 0 point. I love all the financial people. I love them. I love you, Lynn. I love all aspects of you. But here's the part that I love. I learned a term in my corporate days, managing $1 trillion budget. I learned zero-based budgeting. I don't even know what that means. But my favorite term, and I think we made this term up at a meeting one day, fungibility. Big financial term. But what have you learned? What is the language you're now getting?
It's just about the language I'm really getting is about the expression of divine nature. If we just let divine nature take its course, every single thing is in perfection. Everything is in the flow of abundance. And if we take a look at all of nature, the diamonds, the gold, the silver, that's really what I'm diving into and I'm getting, and that's what we're beginning to celebrate. So, we're going to be able to start seeing these changes in this transition into our new consciousness, not only internally, energetically, right? Internally, which appear as mental and emotional changes of perspective, but also externally in our physical world. We don't, again, that's another horn I keep blowing is infusing lives with the magic of soul. It's about our spiritual path in the physical body. So we have to talk about the internal changes as well as the external changes. In our current systems that exist on the physical plane, business protocol, and one of my favorite areas to talk about again is money and abundance and the physical conduits of these things and how will those be emerging and changing.
All right. So, today's show is, we were talking about earlier, and I mentioned it, the internal external transition to our new consciousness, right? And so, here you spend a lot of time with people, you look at intuition, you work with it, aura, chakra systems. And so here's the question. Have you noticed a pattern in what you're seeing within folks, their energy? What have you noticed over the past year?
I've actually noticed a sense of no fear, or another way to say it is like this strange calmness from those around me who are somewhat expecting to be in fear, or they're expecting to be in a panic mode. And they actually come to me saying, hey, I'm in this major transition and I'm kind of expecting to be in fear about this, but I have this unbelievable amount of peace about it, even though they don't know what's around the corner. So they're in the middle of an amazingly big relationship change or financial shift, and there's the sense of just calmness. It's really amazing to watch people even observe that within themselves. So that's one thing. And I've also noticed within a lot of people that I'm doing readings on that there's this pull or feeling to just quit their jobs or make a dramatic, I don't mean little, not from one technology firm to another technology firm, right? But a dramatic career move, or even some urgency to start up some type of creative-based business, right? Where we're talking about natural foods, natural clothing, the arts, right? Forms of expression, and just really changing the earth, really changing the world, and being more conscious about the world. So, and then finally, I see this reflected energetically, what we just talked about, in the throat chakra, because the throat chakra represents speaking our truth, and more importantly, living our truth. And of course, I know that people have had a lot of colds this year, right? So I hear that on the streets, or, people just, oh, my throat is really hurting me. But I see it as a cleansing and expansion of the throat chakra. To me, it's obvious that's what it is. And the second place I've seen a lot of energetic changes in people's sixth chakra, or their intuitive vision, right above their eyebrows, which is also impacting people's physical sight, eye pain, and extra pressure or sensations in the forehead or temple area. And of course, people try to tie it to something external like pollen or a head cold, but again, intuitively, I see that this is actually happening to the masses, and it is all about part of the transition we're going through energetically.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of what you're seeing in the people that you're working with, but it's also part of the stories that we're hearing, I think, as we look at things in the outside world. So sometimes seems like we're being just absolutely plunged, forward, a new level of awareness. And honestly, for us, we got that awareness last year when we knew that whatever we were going to talk about had to be expansive and it had to be accelerated. But there are some things that must happen in order for us to be part of flowing with this. And there's a difference between flowing with it or thinking you're a salmon and you're going to try to get upstream to get things done. Mm-hmm. So can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, I think, we're being ushered into a massive worldwide shift of awareness. I mean, this is big. And the way I see it is we have to experience a major detox for everything on the planet, like literally everything. And so for those of us who have done a detox before, we know that we experience a bit of body pain or discomfort at first while we are releasing toxins, right? So that's something that a lot of us have experienced. So since we somewhat understand this process, we are usually a little bit more gentle with ourselves and endure the discomfort for the cleansing result that we're eventually feel more energized or healthier on the mental and physical and emotional levels, right? So while our bodies are going through a major detox right now, this is a deeper, more intense detox than any of us have ever experienced, like when we go get those packets of detox from the health store.
Yeah.
This is a mental detox. It's a physical detox and an emotional detox, which is releasing toxic ways of thinking, feeling, and being that just cannot exist in or be taken to the new altitude which we as a planet are going. And by altitude, of course, I mean, this new level of consciousness. And the Earth itself is also experiencing this same process with us. We're doing it with the Earth. We're doing it with the planet. She is doing it with us. And you can see it in the extreme windstorms, the earthquakes. And as an intuitive, I can feel her releasing the same things, the painful emotions from wars and other traumas she's endured. And I can also see this being released from her as like water evaporating from the surface, only it's black energy. And it's her releasing pain. And the plants, animals, and all systems on the planet are also being forced to detox. Basically, all things have to evolve to a higher version of itself or be removed, because the old ways just won't be able to exist in the new consciousness or altitude, so to speak.
Yeah, and part of this, though, is talking about what each of us is really called to do in support of this. And so let's stop for a minute and talk about what you've been called to do and how that's now going to manifest 360 degrees on Saturday.
Okay, yes. I am putting on an event called Abundance Takes Flight. And it's basically, I've had the opportunity to experience the words from the mouth of money, from the consciousness of money, from the consciousness of gold, from the consciousness of diamonds. And that's an experience, man. That's an experience that I can't wait to share with the planet, so that everybody can begin to embody that consciousness. And so that's what this event is about. I'm releasing 8 things directly from the mouth of money. The mouth of money and that prosperity, abundant consciousness wants everybody on the planet to start knowing and understanding and embodying. And so we're doing it live at the Museum of Flight this Saturday evening from 6 to 9 o'clock. And guess what? If you're not here in the Seattle area, you can still participate. We're going to be filming the event, and we're going to be capturing it all on video. And so you could still go to abundancetakesflight.org and participate by pre-purchasing, or even after the event, purchasing the download of the information. Because this is information that you're going to want to have, whether you can make it physically to the event or not. And in the spirit of abundance, again, how this all came to me was to step into your calling, to quit waiting for somebody to drop off $1 million at your doorstep. Just do it. Do the expression of yourself that you were called to do and be, and trust and have faith. So I took the leap and I said, okay, I'm going to do this before I have my abundance. And in the spirit of it all, everything has been donated. Everything has been donated for the night. We have an amazing film crew. We have an amazing MC, Dr. Pat Basili.
Who? What?
Dr.
What?
Pat
Who?
Basili. Yeah, that's you.
Who's that? Who that girl? But Benny, don't say anything.
I mean, the film crew is blowing my mind, and we have animations being created for it, and all of the proceeds are going to benefit the homeless in Seattle through our partnership with Share Wheel. And if you haven't heard of it on the news lately, I mean, they've kind of been all over the news. They're having to close down tent cities in Seattle. Well, we had already partnered with them because it was divine guidance, of course. We had already partnered with them and created this event before we even knew about their struggles. And now, their struggles are public. And so this event is just abundant. It's a flow of abundance in every way possible. People get to express their talents. I have one person donating their time to do an amazing program, the actual physical paper program for the evening, the imagery. It's just all been amazing. So abundancetakesflight.org, sign up, get your tickets, pre-purchase the video download. You're not going to want to miss this. This is information that, maybe it's out there, but I've never heard of it.
Well, it's not out there from the mouth of Lynn Brown. From the mouth of Spirit to the ears of Lynn Brown, from the mouth of Lynn Brown to the rest of all of us, right?
Right.
Yeah. Benny, what did you say? When money talks?
Well, I try to walk.
Yeah, we all try to walk. I'm telling you, get your bags ready to be filled with lots of juiciness. But Lynn, Benny, we got something we're going to give away right now. What are we going to do, Lynn? Tell everybody. This is what this means to pay it forward. So for all of you out there, write down our call-in number, 1-800-930-2819. But also please know right here, right now, if you cannot call in, go to the Dr. Pat Show or Transformation Talk Radio. Just go there to go to the Dr. Pat Show, and right on the right-hand side, just say, listen, I want this, please. And hopefully you'll be one of the first people, and we'll be able to give it to you. So what are you giving away, Lynn?
I am giving away 3 VIP tickets, my own personal tickets, in the VIP section, 3 tickets to the event. And so, you're going to want this.
And Benny, we're going to do them one at a time because I know how that works, right? 1-800-930-2819. We're going to give the first one away. And let's remind everybody, it's Saturday the 30th, right? It's 6 to 9 p.m., right? And tell everybody at the incredible place it's at.
It's at the Museum of Flight. Museum of Flight in Seattle. And so everybody who's attending the event gets access to the Museum of Flight complimentary from 5 to 6 p.m. So they get to enjoy all of that as well.
Yeah, and I'm so super excited about this because I'm going to be also introducing you. And I've got a real live deal to share on Saturday about what has happened since. Not only did you do this, Lynn, but part of what's happening here is we've been talking about it. We've been writing commercials about it, but we also did the flyer about it. So part of this is an infusion that you're going to talk about. So what has happened? We're going to share that, but also Lynn's going to have a major invitation for all of us here. And by the way, if they cannot attend this in person, tell everybody what they can do.
Yeah. Again, you can go to abundancetakesflight.org and you can purchase a ticket that is called Donate and get the video download. Again, all of that money is going to go still directly to Share Wheel, and you can still experience all the information. And the information is going to be not just intellectual information; it's going to be energy stamped. It's going to be time stamped with all of the power and the force that we're bringing that night. It's going to be amazing.
This is the pay it forward. So capital P, right? Like a capital I and then a capital F for forward. This is enormous, epic. So 1-800-930-2819. Mr. Benny's going to get ready, and boom, it's going to be amazing. the website, Lynn, how do people find out more about this? Totally on the Dr. Pat Show and in our newsletters and in all of our social media. We've just been telling the world about it. So, but folks can go to the website and find out, like, oh, I didn't hear what they said.
Yeah, again, it's abundancetakesflight.org, not .com, .org. And you can also go to my Rawness of Life Facebook page, which daily I'm having little sneak peeks about it. I posted videos about it, little teasers about it, really talking about the energy and the blue sapphires and the diamonds and the rubies. It's building up to this event. And if you missed the last show, it's a really good on-ramp to what we'll be talking about. I highly suggest you go back and hear the last show you and I recorded, which is Money as Consciousness. It will really help you understand a little bit easier the content that I'm going to be talking about that night.
Yeah, and this is what I love about this. This is all we need to do is say a giant yes to this. And can I just say something real quick for those of you out there? If you hear us talking about money, if you hear us talking about diamonds, if you hear us talking about emeralds, oh, we live in the Emerald City. But if you hear us talking about rubies, if you hear us talking about gold or silver or money, if you hear us talking about any of that and you're feeling even the slightest bit uncomfortable, this event is for you. If you're feeling perfectly fine about this event is for you. And this is really the key part of this. I'm honored to be part of this. I really am, Lynn. I'm so honored to be part of what you've put together and to be able to support you in this way. Because if you're listening to the headlines in the spiritual community, and I'm talking about, the group of spiritual people that have a lot of money, they are talking about acceleration. They are talking about how this is our time. But Lynn is not only going to tell us about that, she's going to explain it, explain why, and explain what the new narrative is about it. And so, today I said new narrative. Let's talk about new attitude. You know what? There's a song about having a new attitude. But you know what? We talk about a new attitude. You ever be at work, Lynn, you and I are corporate people. You ever be at work and your boss gives you a performance review and says, dude, wait a minute, you really need a new attitude. And you're like, no, I don't. NA is not for me. But you're talking about a different new attitude, something shiny.
Yeah.
All right. Tell us about it.
Okay. Well, one of the best ways I can explain this new attitude or consciousness in a new altitude is kind of like a planet of utopia. So we can all energetically just go there right now and feel what that feels like to us. And compared to what most of our realities are now, it would be a utopia. So let's imagine for a minute that we all live in a tropical climate, similar to that of near the equator. Then we decide as a group to go ahead and relocate to the high altitude mountains of Colorado. So some of us may want to try to bring some of the vegetation from the tropical climate because it's what we're used to. It's what we're comfortable with. It's what we know. But once we get there in that new higher altitude climate, we see that certain vegetation simply cannot survive or exist there. This does not mean that vegetation does not exist at all in the higher altitude regions. It does. It's just a different type of vegetation. So to take it a step further, if we were farmers in the tropical setting, we would know certain ways of irrigation systems and tilling, times of the year to plant certain crops. And if we try to take those exact same systems to the new altitude climate, they likely won't work. And we have to change or alter what we would come to know as farming, what we see as vegetation, what animals among us do, and how to thrive in that environment. I'm going to repeat that. How to thrive in that environment. We would likely need some different tools as well. And this is similar to what is happening on our planet with everything that exists here. There are some things that simply cannot make the transition. We got to get rid of those. We got to shed them. But that doesn't mean then we're left with nothing, right? There are many things that we have to look forward to in the new and elevated consciousness, and that's what I'm focusing on.
Yeah. And so why? So the big question is why. So let's you and I have a why chat before we go to break, because I think the why chat is super important. We're going to talk about, when we do the event and you're standing up there and I'm talking about this in reference to Lynn Brown. Here she is. But, the conversation is why. And it's not about why Lynn Brown, because you're going to cover that. We're going to talk about that on Saturday. But it's why now? Why us? Why are we talking about it on the Dr. Pat Show? Why is it part of positive talk radio? Why is it a worldwide phenomenon? And why is one of my least favorite words on the planet? And the listeners right now, they're the best on the planet. They're saying, oh my gosh, Pat, you just did a show not too long ago telling everybody why the word why was so not in your vocabulary, but it is now. So we have to talk about why from a spiritual perspective. And the answer, Lynn, I don't know. Are you going to say because?
I'm going to say, come get it, straight from Money's mouth, April 30th.
Come get it. Yes. Yeah. Where's my James Brown song? Where is that? The James Brown song that I love so much? Because, this is what we're talking about. It's like when James Brown hit the stage, right? You knew you knew this was a new phenomenon. This is a new phenomenon. What part of you, Lynn Brown, on the inside out, what part of you is saying it is a new phenomenon? Everybody, let's get ready. Sign on the bus. Don't let Elvis leave.
Well, Pat, I'm in a very vulnerable and unique perspective and vantage point, right? Because of my financial expertise in the physical financial world, right? I'm at this vantage point where I can see both sides of the coins. And I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday. There's, you take any financial planner, money manager in the world, and even if they're the very best at it, and they've perfected it, let's say.
Okay, let's say that.
They still only can see and know and understand and help you with one side of the coin. Mm-hmm. And then you have the other side of the coin, which is the energetic blueprint, the energetic aspects of creation and abundance, and how it even gets to the physical. There's this whole thing that happens before it even manifests in the physical. Mm-hmm. And then you have the side of the coin, right, which are the ridges. And that's where the integration happens. That's where the communication between the two worlds starts to happen. And that's where I am. That's why this is important, because we don't live in that world yet on the physical plane, but we're going to. We're going to be in a world that is both energetically and physically balanced around money and abundance, giving and receiving, blessing and being blessed. That's why.
Yeah.
It's time to talk about this.
We got more whys coming your way. I wanted to say to everybody, 1-800-930-2819. What do you got to say about this? What are you thinking right now? Are you ready to get on that? I'm just saying, are you ready to take flight with abundance? Because here's what we know. Abundance is traveling, jet speed, the sound of light. What is it that we can know so that we are getting on board? We are getting on up. That's it. We're going to get on up. That's what we're going to do right here. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to listen. Here it's coming. Here it's coming. Are you ready? Yep. Exciting. Amazing. The new consciousness. It is new. It's actually a new narrative. And what Lynn's going to talk about is it's new. Why is it so shiny? How do we keep it shiny? How do you bring that shiny in your light? And as my friend Kelly Wilder would say, shine on, because she's the shine on girl. Let's take a short break, everybody. 1-800-930-2819. We're taking another caller. We're giving away another seat, the doorway to your abundance. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't. I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't. So good, so good. I got you.
Tune in into sheer alchemy with Leslie Fontaine on TransformationTalkRadio.com and get ready to stir up your passions, identify your blocks, and shift into an entirely new existence. Leslie Fontaine is a transformation catalyst and clairvoyant who uses her intuitive and energetic gifts to catapult listeners into living the life they were born to live. Whether it's shifting from scarcity to abundance, from emotional pain into joy, or from illness into health, Leslie will help you step into the true essence and power of all that you are with the help of the Ascended Masters and Archangels. You will not be the same. Visit TransformationTalkRadio.com for show dates and times and LeslieFontaine.com to say yes to explosive abundance.
Are you ready for a radical shift in your way of being? Are you seeking a more deeply connected and fulfilling life? Awakened Living Radio is a show dedicated to helping you embrace a life filled with profound peace, connection, and happiness. TJ Woodward is passionate about helping you find your clarity, balance, and purpose. Join co-host TJ Woodward and Dr. Pat Basili on the first Monday of every month at 11 a.m. Pacific Time for Awakened Living Radio on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Access Consciousness is coming back to Seattle this April for 3 amazing events. Mark your calendars. April 20th through the 22nd is the Access Consciousness Body Classes, created by Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here, facilitated by Dr. Glenna Rice. Explore verbal processes and hands-on bodywork that will unlock the tension, resistance, and dis-ease of the body by shifting energy dynamically. April 23rd through the 25th is the Advanced Access Body Class with Gary Douglas. What if you could undo a whole lot of limitations that you have locked into your body and create an alteration of the way your body functions? Then, on April 26th at 7 p.m., join Gary Douglas for the Abuse Hold class. This is the first time ever that this dynamic process is being presented in a class format. Find out more about these Access Consciousness April events in Seattle by visiting transformation.events. That's transformation.events.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Pat. Many of you have heard me talk about the Lyme disease epidemic going on right now in the world. I want to tell you about my friends at Results RNA. They have now created an entire Lyme support system for immune system support, detoxification, rejuvenation, and neurological healing. Please visit resultsrna.com to learn more, and for first-time orders, you'll receive a special 10% discount. All you have to do is type in Dr. Pat at checkout. Yeah, absolutely. And, shine bright like a diamond, whether you're thinking, wow, this is like, I don't even get that shine bright of a diamond. I can't even see my way to shine anything. But I want to tell you, that's what this is about. That's what Lynn Brown is doing. Today we're talking about the internal and external transition to our new consciousness. And, today's show is, sort of like, I like to call it like a little prequel before we get to the event on Saturday. And as I said before, we've talked about this and getting ready to give away another ticket. We've talked about this amazing event, April 30th from 6 to 9 p.m. It's going to be at the Museum of Flight. You can find out more about the event. It's called Abundance Takes Flight, but also, we're getting messages. What are the messages? Money's mouth. What are they doing? But you can find out about that in a number of different ways. Lynn, we've got this posted on your site as well.
Correct.
So they can go to lynnmbrown.com or they can go to lynnbrownevent.com,
yes.
Correct?
Yep.
Wow. Doesn't get any easier than that.
No.
And Benny, I think we've got one more ticket to give away, 1-800-930-2819. And, before we go to the question, I want to just make sure that we mention that, listen, if you're listening from California and you're not able to be there, what's going to happen, Lynn?
You're going to go to abundancetakesflight.org, and you're going to purchase a ticket called Donate and Get Download. And then we're going to send out the video to you right afterwards. And when I say donate, there's a reason I'm saying donate is because you can actually go in there and choose the price of your ticket. because it's all by donation, free will, whatever your consciousness is wanting you to invest in this movement, really. $10, $40, $100. I've been surprised, not surprised, but pleasantly surprised to see, not less than $50, and most everybody's donating $100. I mean, that makes me so amazed. I'm just so happy about that, and that's not a request for anybody else. You can go do $2 if you want to, but just do it.
The point is this has an energy all its own. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. We're going to talk about when we refer to energy, this is what we're talking about. Before we can talk about the business and, the money system changes, right? That not all of us are like on the edge of our seat to hear about. You talked about, or you touched upon, some of the changes that nature is making in this shift. Nature. And you know what? Nature is defined in a lot of different ways. But, I want to hear your perspective from it.
Sure. I said before, the planet is making the same shifts with us. Mm-hmm. That's part of my role here, is to not only shift me, but to help Earth in her shift as well. So I see a lot of the transitions she's making, and I do a lot of work with her. But so specifically, though, this is one that's really neat and is happening right now, is the structures of plants are currently going through an upgrade right now in the makeup of their cellular structure, so that they may hold more light or life force within them. Let's just think about that for a second.
Yeah.
It was probably last spring. I was outside in nature running, and I was shown something intuitively that, like, my individual body cells actually all kind of turned and faced to the light, kind of like a billion little Pac-Mans, right? And they turned to the sun and they opened their mouth, and they were showing me that we're actually changing to breathing, if so to speak, light, living off light like the plants do. And so the light, the actual plants are changing their cellular structure so that they can open up and hold more light. And this is the neat part. This is ultimately to be able to provide Earth and us humans the higher frequency of life force that we will need and we will be required to maintain our physical body and our body structure and DNA in this new consciousness. The DNA is also changing to something that is less dense and more of what I call our light bodies. So it's really neat to see that happening in the plants right now. I can see it. I can feel it. I know a lot of energy workers are assisting the planet with this all over the globe. And we're going to experience, also in the more future. So that's happening now, but in the more future, a more consistent and temperate climate all over the world, which will allow for more abundance of plant life and vegetation. Yeah. Again, it's all about more balance and harmony and giving and receiving in the way that divine nature is meant to be.
Yeah. And, how do we know it's changing? Well, wait, hold on. Let me think for a minute. Oh, what was the temperature in Seattle last week? Oh, 85 or something? What is the temperature right now in the East Coast? It's April. It's April. And so what's happening, if I read in what you're saying, is that nature is doing things right now to adapt and adjust and make changes. It is all about, how do I change to thrive? It's not how do I change to survive.
Right.
It's, when nature wants to go to the survive instead of the thrive, what it does is it destroys. Go to Hawaii, the big island, take a look at the volcano. It destroys so that it could give birth. And that's what you were talking about before when you're talking about detox.
Yeah. Yep. It's amazing.
You know what I'm saying? Give your consciousness a smoothie. I don't know if that's going to work. But, let's talk about some of the exciting and amazing things that you see. And, Benny, do we still have a ticket left to go, or should I do another announcement?
Yes, we do.
All right, 1-800-930-2819. We've got another seat for you. listen, this is exciting. I've been like I'm getting emails from the listeners. They're saying like, what are you taking? I'm not taking anything. I'm taking life. I'm loving life. It's not happening. So you're excited, Lynn. What are you excited about?
It's a huge, man, this is just huge. This is, like you say, epic.
Oh.
I don't even use that word. It's epic.
Yeah,
it's epic. I'm just getting information constantly to bring forth. And it's not, it's not about me. This has nothing to do with me. This is about the planet. This is about our collective consciousness rising up to do and create from the desires of our heart, to just be able to do whatever we're here to bring forth. If we're artistic, be artistic. If we're mathematical, be mathematical. Just the freedom to do that. Can we imagine that? Oh, it's just amazing. So, well, a couple of things that are kind of interesting and odd, I would say kind of quirky, odd, but anyways, a couple of things that I see emerging in the new consciousness that I've been shown are, one is like there's still elements or forms of metals that haven't even surfaced yet on the planet. And I was shown that with these new metals will be used to create more durable and sustaining things, right? And we're going to be returning to more use of silver spoons instead of plastic, or, it's the nature and natural elements, so that we can begin to collaborate with them and be in the flow of life again. So there'll also be like musical instruments made from these new metals that create a higher vibrational sound, which will sound more beautiful to our ears. It'll be healing to our bodies. And this next part I'm really excited about. I know my friend Wendy hears me talk about it all the time because I think I'm going to be flying very quickly. I went and I turned in my Chevy Volt at the end of the lease, and I have not got a new car because I'm convinced we're going to be flying. We're going to be in flying vehicles. I don't know. I just am convinced. So another thing which I'm really excited about is the release of new technology that will provide free, listen to this, free energy for all. New types of transportation, which will work from not gas, but life force energy. And new healing machines, which will actually change the energetic structure of our mental, emotional, and physical bodies so that we actually repair the discord within us and not cover it up. Or we don't have to cut off or cut out our bodies anymore, cut off our body parts. Many of these things already exist on the planet today. They just have not been allowed to be released to the public, but they will soon.
Well, we know that. I mean, if the listeners are listening to this show, they know the show we did, I don't know how many years ago, on the electric car. We know what you're talking about. You know what the difference is in, when I had that conversation and, the conversation I'm having now? It is that there are people like you out there talking about it. And not just talking about it. You're not just talking. You're talking positively about it. You're not talking fearfully about it. And this is really, can I just say this? Out of all of the people that are out there as public as they are, you are bringing a positive, brilliant message out. I don't have to sit here and think of, oh my gosh, let me be afraid. I'm going to hoard everything I own. You know what I'm saying? That is not what I'm hearing. Think about you. You're giving the proceeds of this away. So let's talk about the new face of money and the financial systems. Let's talk about, what does that face look like? I mean, are we going from a Washington to a link? What does that mean, the face of money? Because money does have a face. We know it does.
Yeah. Yeah, and the financial systems, right? Not just the money itself, but the actual financial, what we call financial systems, and what are the platforms of money? It's all changing. So, as you know, this is where I'm really called to spend most of my healing attention, not only to everyday aspects of people's money discords and fears, but also to the new and emerging financial systems that will exist in our higher consciousness world. And those are beginning to surface. I said it last time, and it just keeps popping up. Again, believe it or not, many of these things that I'm going to talk about have already been created, established, or have changed to this new way of being for us. It's already in place for the most part. This information just has not been made public yet. We just don't see it on the news yet. We're not transacting with the new banks yet, but it's been created. So and it will soon. I mean, I just feel like any day, this information is going to be our new reality. And trust me, again, they're phenomenal and healthy changes. They're not fearful things. So don't let fear creep in when you start seeing these things actually start to pop. So here are some of the things. So the basic thing is to remember that the new consciousness is based in a reality of truth, equality, compassion, and collaboration. So if you think about all the systems of the planet, could we really be in truth? Like, we know everything about the banking systems. We know everything about the corporations. We know that's what I'm talking about. Equality from the top down. Maybe it won't be a top down. Maybe it'll be side to side and just pure collaboration. Compassion, helping the planet with our systems and with our forms of expression and our creativity. So this is what these new systems are based in. So one thing is we will have a new monetary system. I'm just going to say it. The U.S. will need to do something that will need to go to something that has a true value and is backed by hard assets such as silver and gold. So will all the currency of the world. That's what truth means. A true value. There's true value in gold and silver. And by the way, don't get me started on silver and gold because
Saturday.
Gold, right? And
Saturday.
So silver and gold have a life of their own, and they want to reclaim their true value as well. I'll just end it there. There will be a revaluation or reset of the global currencies, which will represent true value. Again, here we come back to truth, a balance amongst the planet. So the global currencies will be reset to true value, not a manipulated value, getting us all closer to equality. And many of the current companies or agencies that have not been working as a high consciousness structure will need to either be shut down, completely removed, or replaced, right, with new systems that serve the collective masses, not just a few. So this is just some of the things, even the new banking system, there will be new rules and regulations for banks that want to participate in the higher consciousness. The new rules have actually already been created, and if you want to look it up, it's Basel III are new rules. We just haven't implemented them yet, and mostly this stuff is happening and starting over in different countries and then spreading to the U.S. I know that there's already several banks working on this platform. Again, we just don't know publicly who they are. So and I believe we're going to see a resurfacing of the physical gold and other precious metals in our daily uses because they're so essential. The energy of them is essential for our life and our life force.
Yeah.
And if I say any more, I'm going to give away my
No, we're not. Because, but by the way, even if you do give it away, here's what's going to happen. The universe really abhors a vacuum, cannot stand it. So even if you give it all away today, by the time Saturday comes, you'll have something new. That's my understanding. At least it's happened for me. But there's one thing that, I don't know if you said it in this show. But I really think we should talk about it because it has to do with this new consciousness based on reality and equity, compassion, collaboration. The other thing it has to do with is this new consciousness that's based on authenticity. Okay? This is what we're talking when we're talking about money. This is what we're talking about. It's a new level of this. So I would love for you to talk about some of these items.
Authenticity. I think that really emerges when we're talking about truth, right? Mm-hmm. What is your truth, and what's stopping you from being your truth? A lot of people are going to say money, but that's not a real story. It's their real story, but it's not the real story. It's not the reality. That is not the truth. That is not the truth. The truth.
So give us a little insight. Share a few things about this new truth.
Well, The new
I
truth.
have to say it is a new truth, Lynn. You know why? Because we got a whole lot of people that, are really in power positions in our economic system that absolutely, if you ask them, they think they are telling you the truth.
Right.
And I learned something really important about truth. If we let our minds talk about truth, what we've got perception. But if we let our hearts talk about it, and our spirit and our soul, the way that you are presenting it and will on Saturday, we are in a whole new narrative about this thing.
Yeah, it really is heart. It really is heart driven, and that's the truth. That's the truth of abundance. That's the truth of money. Believe it or not, money is very heart driven. If you think about it, money. Okay, let's just go off on a little bit of a tangent here. What is it? A hammer?
Yeah, let's do it.
A hammer's called a tool, right? There's not very many people in the world that if I say the word hammer are going to cringe, tighten up, enter into a stressful, their body's not going to go into a panic or resistance. It's just a hammer. It's a tool. And what does a hammer do? It can only do what you will it to do.
Crust busting. Yeah, the hammer takes care of crust because we got the jackhammer, Benny.
I mean, a hammer can do anything. It can pick ice. It can dig a hole in the ground. It's just, it does only what you have it do. And that's the same thing with money. It really is. And money at the consciousness level, because I've spent time with money, is dying to be known as its truth. It's here to serve us. It's here to serve us, to give us the freedom to do what we want to do. And here's the other thing. I'm going to just call some people out to do what we say we want to do, right? We say we want to be giving. We say we want to help more people. We say these things, but at the end of the day, sometimes we're not. We're just hoarding what we have. And it's okay because, it won't be okay in the future because as soon as we learn this new paradigm, as soon as we understand the truth about the consciousness of money and the gold and the silver, we just can't hold on to those old stories anymore. There won't be an excuse that your story won't work anymore.
Yeah. I think this is part of, what you're going to talk about on Saturday as well. And wait, I think we still have a ticket. 1-800-930-2819. Yeah, Lynn is paying it forward. We actually have a ticket for somebody out there that wants to come to the event, Saturday, April 30th, 6 to 9. And by the way, I have another question, Lynn, and I wonder if you can talk about it. Many of you may be listening to this show 2 weeks from now. How are people going to be able to get the DVD? Because we didn't even tell people you're recording everything. So let's say it's 2 weeks from now. Is this information going to be available to people?
Absolutely. So for the whole month of May, the abundancetakesflight.org site will be active where it is right now. And then moving forward, you will just switch where that goes to. So we'll redirect it to my personal website, which you can go to lynnmbrown.com, and you're going to be able to continually purchase this video. And for the month of May, it's going to still continue to be on the Eventbrite site, basically. But you just still go to abundancetakesflight.org. That's going to be the go-to for this event, probably for a very, very long time. And I have a goal that once we raise $30,000 for the Share Wheel organization, that I'll just be releasing this video to the planet for free.
Yeah. Somebody asked me the other day, and I know we only have 2 minutes left, and I think it's a great way to kind of wrap this up until next time, which is Saturday. Somebody asked me, Pat, what are you going to say? How are you going to introduce Lynn? And all I said is, you know what? More to be revealed. Whatever's going to be called forth in that moment to say what needs to be said, I so trust it will. I know you do too.
Yeah. I'm still getting information for the event. It's brilliant. I can't wait to share it with y'all.
Oh, baby, fasten your seatbelts, everybody. Lynn, thank you for today. One last question. What's your personal message? What would you like to leave us with? I'm so excited.
Yeah, go in your heart. Go in your heart and start imagining what would you do. Like literally, what steps would you take? What would be the first thing you would do? Who would you work with? Who would you collaborate with? if you could just unleash and open up the flows of eternal abundance and you didn't have to worry about this stuff anymore and you just lived out the desires of your heart. And I know people talk about that, but like go through the steps because it's coming. We're all going to be there.
I love it. Lynn, thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you for everything that you are moving forward in the world. You are clearly a shining light for many of us to really be part of this journey with you. And it is an honor. Thank you so much for today. And by the way, if you want to find out more about Lynn, they can go to Lynn M. Brown, right?
Correct.
Rock it on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I hope to see you all next to me. Come run with me. Come play with me. Come dance with me. Come celebrate with me. It's an awesome place to be.
You know what? We'll do motorcycling together. How's that sound?
Yes.
That's it. Thank you, everybody. We'll be right back. We're going to take a shorty. We'll be right back.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.